Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Hannibal reaction video. So today, at long last, we have arrived at the season 1 finale of Hannibal, and we left off where Will is not in a good place at all. He's basically about to be framed, or in the process of being framed for murders, including the murder that Hannibal almost certainly just committed of Abigail Hobbs. So Will is in for, I think, a pretty rough time this episode, but we'll see. Since it's the culmination of the season, I'm curious to see if we'll get any sort of situation where any characters are actually going to figure out anything about Hannibal, or if it's going to be all focused on the idea that Will is a killer, and if we're going to actually have any resolution to that, or what's going to happen, I don't know. I just know that we can probably just say rest in peace, Abigail. Not looking so good for her. But before I get into the episode, just a quick thank you again to all of my supporters on Patreon. You guys are really the reason I'm able to keep doing this. If you're someone who's interested in supporting me on Patreon, you can get early access to episodes of all the shows, including Hannibal. I also have higher tiers, which have full-length episodes of some series. Hannibal is not one of them, but there are a number of shows, and there is a Patreon-exclusive show, Penny Dreadful, so that's also an option. If you're not interested, no big deal, but if you are, there's a link in the description below. And that being said, time to watch the season finale. See what happens. Alright, here we go. An ear? What? What?
I went to Minnesota. I took Abigail. You went to Minnesota. She didn't come back with me. Show me. I hallucinated that I killed her.
This is not,
But it wasn't real.
I mean, Hannibal knows, but...
I know it wasn't real.
But that's not going to convince Jack. That's not going to work in your favor. Hannibal's quite the actor.
Well, we have to go, Jack. You can't run from this. It'll only be worse. Get rest.
I killed Abigail.
So this is what Hannibal wanted. He wanted Will to think he's guilty too.
We analyzed the tissue. It matched Abigail Hobbs.
He just wanted Will to believe
her blood
that he
under
was the killer
Will's
too.
fingernails, scratches on his arms are all defensive ones. Like she fought back.
Shut up.
I
Stop talking. He won't get too close. You said you would cover him. You could see he was breaking.
Yes, I could.
Yeah.
And I kept pushing him.
Yes, you did.
Because he was saving lives, Alana.
Yeah,
Not
true.
Abigail Hobbs's life.
You look me in the face and tell me that you couldn't see that he was breaking?
Are you serious, Jack?
Of course I could see it. I told you not to put him out there!
Every decision I made concerning Will's mental health, I made under advisement of a respected psychiatrist who you recommended.
Yeah.
Hannibal had to know. He had to see something was wrong.
Yeah, I
Until it
did.
was too late. It's like everybody else.
Not everybody else. All of you saw what was
Hannibal said
happening.
that Will was exhibiting signs of dementia.
Dementia isn't a disease. It's a symptom of disease. We have to find out what's causing it and treat it.
The concern is that there may not be anything to treat. Will had a brain scan.
Oh,
They found
Hannibal.
nothing.
Well, then they don't know what they're looking for. This started with Garrett Jacob Hobbs.
Maybe Will just did what Hobbs couldn't. He killed his daughter.
Abigail's blood is on all of us.
Handled to help me hold on to reality.
Was the clock normal?
Would I be here if it wasn't?
Is Alana gonna figure something out?
Draw me a clock.
This is terrible timing, but again, I just love her clothes. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's not the appropriate time.
See, it's just a normal clock.
Oh, yeah.
Telling the time isn't my problem.
It's the least of your problems.
Searching for ways that Abigail could still be alive.
Grieving is an individual process with a universal goal. The truest examination of the meaning of life and the meaning of its end.
I know what life means. We've existed for 100,000 years. In that time, 100 billion human lives have had beginnings and ends.
100 billion lives haven't impacted yours. But clearly, Abigail Hobbs's life has, and you seem surprised by that.
I never considered having a child. But after meeting Abigail, I understood the appeal.
But you're willing to sacrifice that child.
The opportunity to guide and support and in many ways direct her life.
You were having influence on her.
Well, yeah.
I was hoping
Certainly.
I was.
Young people are supposed to be the lenses through which we see ourselves living beyond this life.
Did he think that maybe he could make
I
Abigail
think of
into
my
like
earliest
a
memory
protege or
and
something?
project forward to what I imagine will be my death. I never think about living beyond that span of time. Except by reputation.
Even after this loss.
More so after this loss.
Will Graham is a loss too. You might grieve him as a loss.
I haven't given up on Will.
If they do find him guilty of killing Abigail Hobbs,
When?
It's very
Boil. Bits of bone fragments and pieces of lung. Where's the shore?
Hannibal.
Antler velvet, a fingernail wound with her hair. Dr. Sutcliffe. Crushed teeth, soft tissue from inside his mouth bound with cartilage from his jaw.
All
Very
victims
smart.
of the copycat.
I wasn't sick when Cassie Boyle was murdered. I wasn't sick when Marissa Shore was murdered.
That's not an argument you want to be making right now. Not with me.
Let's see, Hannibal went too far with this. Now Will's gonna not believe he did
Instead,
it.
I'd be a psychopath.
My biggest fear is that we'll learn that you knew what you were doing the whole time.
You don't have to be be afraid of that, Jack. There is something you should be afraid of, though.
Yeah, what's that?
Whoever's doing this to me,
Someone's doing this to you.
they'll be close to you. Could be someone here, working with you.
So that's it. It's a setup.
They know the cases. They know forensics.
There's only so many people it can be.
They know that I'm unstable.
Can you hear how paranoid you sound?
Or it could just be you. Then I'd be really screwed with that.
Yeah.
Now this is the clock he drew for me 2 weeks ago. It's normal.
Planned
What
it out
disease progresses
perfectly.
gradually,
New. Just in
plateaus
case.
for lengths of time.
Well, it has periods of clarity. We've seen him lucid and aware one moment, and then the next he's not.
Could be some form of encephalitis.
Autoimmune encephalitis.
It's hard to diagnose. There are no tumors, no lesions. It wouldn't even show up in a brain scan unless you were looking for it.
Look, just tell me if he could kill 5 people and not be aware of it. This doesn't feel like dementia. This is an intelligent psychopath.
To change